What's going on, beautiful people of Atlanta? I go by the name of DJ 9D.
It's your girl Keisha.
And it's your boy Kell.
And you're now tuning in to Kicking the Old School every Thursday at 8, where we take you back with the tracks that's all of that, but as well as mend that generational gap. We have a singer, a songwriter, a father, entrepreneur, family man, motivational speaker, a foodie, a gearhead, a transcender, and he's packed with a lot of humor. We have Mazur up in the building. What's good, King?
What up, What's going on, King?
Hey, man, blessings.
I appreciate you guys having me here, man.
Most deaf. So,
that boy, right, he just read off a dictionary, yeah?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, man.
Yeah, the jack of all trades.
Just think of something he could do. You feel me?
For real.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, though.
Good.
Yeah, what's up?
Most deaf, man. Yo, once again, we thank all of y'all for tuning in and listening in and giving us nothing but love and support on Kicking It Old School. You feel me? So, Jay, man, I want to get into a little something because you from around the way. You know, everybody know I'm from Broward, but you from Dade County, Miami.
Dade County, 305, Miami, Florida. Opalaka, little Haiti.
Most definitely. So, tell us your upbringing, man. How was it coming up around there?
I mean, growing up, it wasn't nothing too sweet, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. You know, like, I know a lot of people be like, oh, they was in the slums doing all this thing, but my mom, she kept us on a short leash. You know, we was in and out of church, but when it was time for us to go outside, you know, a lot of stuff went down, but we always made sure we didn't get caught in the mix with everything. But it definitely was tough. You know, I seen a lot of friends passed away right in front of my face, right down the street. You know, so that's what made us, you know, try to move a little different with everything that we witnessed growing up, you know. So, you know, the area we grew up was nothing sweet at all, but we just moved accordingly to not get caught up in all that crazy stuff. You know, we did our thing, but we were smart with it, you know what I'm saying?
So would you say you try to, like, dodge that type of path, you know what I'm saying, as you came up for sure?
It's like we dodged it, but we didn't at the same time. It's just we was very smart with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we seen everybody when they get caught up. A lot of our friends get locked up. They did their time, and they looking like, man, y'all boys probably the only ones who ain't get cased up. We're like, yeah, because we people what y'all did wrong. So, you know, we just move, you know?
Right.
So we learn from y'all mistakes.
Moving militant.
Yeah,
y'all should learn, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You
gotta learn from the OGs, man. The benefit of having OGs.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, for real.
For sure.
Yeah. And I wish they was the ones showing us. We had to just see what they was doing wrong because they wasn't telling us what not to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's so true. I wonder, like, I feel like a lot of times growing up, especially being in, like, the music industry, there's the pressure of having a story, right? What's your story? What's your story?
Yeah.
And so I think everyone has to understand, like, okay, I can talk about how I'm from the streets, I'm from the hood, this is my story, but I think there's also a breath of fresh air to hear that, you know, we were in the streets, but we really weren't. We were in church, you know, we made sure that we were, you know, getting our homework done.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's a story too.
I mean, but you know, knowing our mom, like she made sure it was getting done, so we wasn't doing it. She was putting it to us, so you know. But we still got into a lot of craziness. But again, it's just learning from the big homie's mistake, and was like, yo, we ain't getting cased up. Oh, okay, there's been certain, you know, little shootout stuff like that, but we was always just being on point. It seems like. It's almost like we was covered by someone or something, because the moment we walk away from hey, yo, we out, y'all boys, are like, all right, next you know, we hear right when we just walk away from that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
definitely an angel covering.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Most definitely.
Ooh, that gives me chills.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand, you know, especially being from Florida. It's like, I feel like a lot of people get the wrong perception as far as just, you know, of course we have the nice beaches and everything,
of course.
But we go through stuff just like any other city.
Because
absolutely.
People from out of town, they looking at like, oh, just you live in Miami, you live in life. I'm like, what?
I love
Miami. Say I'm on the other side of the bridge. I said, we're not in Miami Beach. I said, we in the hood. Opalaga. Listen,
right. You made that right instead of that left.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we dealt with crooked cops. I watched, you know, a friend of mine. He literally. They pulled him over for no reason. The police just beat him up like badly for no reason. Yeah. You know, they ain't asked for license or nothing. So we witnessed so much stuff, man. It's like we in Opalaca. Then when I was born and everything, I think my first few years I was in Little Haiti. And if anyone who you aware of how little Haiti, how it is over there. So
Most def.
from there, my mom moved us, I think at the age of like 4 or 5, that's when she moved us to Opalaka, and we've been there ever since. And we just kept growing from there, you know?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, speaking of your parents, man, obviously you had 2 amazing parents in your life and everything. You told me they are musicians, man. So that's what you say you pretty much got into the music just from their influence as well?
Yeah, like I would say what really pinpointed that, because my father, he was a guitar player and he sang as well. And my mom was a vocalist. But I think what really pinpoint me seeing like the power of music, because kind of growing up, them 2 used to go at it a lot. I don't want to get too personal, you feel me? But I done seen stuff what my dad did, and I'm just like, wow, you know. But I think the most happiest that I saw them where his teeth being shown as just big smiles was when it was in the studio. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, this is the happiest I've seen mom and dad again. I'm like, wow, you know, this is the power of music. So that's when I just started saying, man, I probably want to get into this to see, you know, what this is all about. And then after seeing old footages of them in the studio and stuff like that, that's when I just stumbled across Boyz II Men, but it was because of my older brothers. Because they used to be, when Boyz II Men was out, everybody wanted to be a boy band. Of course. You know what I'm saying? So it was 3 dudes and everything like that. So I used to watch them do their thing. Now my brother's a rapper, but he started off singing. But he was always playing 112, Boyz II Men, Brian McKnight. Yeah. But Boyz II Men just really caught me because of all that harmony. You know, the harmony just had me hooked on everything. So when people hear my music, they'll hear a lot of 2-part, 3-part harmony on everything I do, you know?
Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, who would you say is your favorite boy band, like, growing up? Besides Boyz II Men, I already know you influenced by them.
Yeah, but 112, Drew Hill, that's another one. And I'm not gonna lie, NSYNC was really dope. A lot of people
was.
I ain't gonna lie, they was dope.
For real,
Backstreet, yeah. So people be like, man, really? I'm like, yo, like I ain't even gonna fake it. Like NSYNC was really dope. My brothers used to laugh at me. Cause I bought their album, they broke that CD. They was not trying to. Man. They was like, man, you play this too much. I'm like bye and all that.
They said this album is bye.
Yeah, that's literally what they did. They broke that CD. So I overplayed that CD. So
but okay, since we talking about boys bands, do you dance?
No.
Oh man. Okay.
And the thing is, I done got into little accidents, and then when I was playing ball, knee got busted and stuff. So but in my brain, I'm like, I wish I could do some 2-stepping or whatever, but not that all twisting, going to knees, sliding. I can't do all that, you know.
Jumping all over the stage.
Yeah, nah. I could do the jumping up and down too, and you know, I could hype the crowd up, but like Chris Brown type of stuff, or Marion, nah. I can't do none of that. I can't do none of that. They got me beat on that.
Yo, is it true, because you mentioned playing ball, is it true that we are bred to play either football or basketball? Mainly football, though.
Mainly football. I'm not going to.
Is that a Miami thing?
That's a Florida thing, period.
Because I grew up with some dudes who, man, that talent went to waste, man.
Yeah.
This dude can throw from the one end of the block to the other with just on one arm. It's like, I'm like, the one dude, this man's so quick, and it's like, no, but he rather be in the streets, do this, do that.
The streets will take all that from
him. But Miami, they bred a lot, man. Especially, I went to Miami Central Senior High. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people who's in the NFL right now graduated from that school.
Yeah,
you know, Willis McGahee and God rest his soul, Brian Patter. He was supposed to get drafted in the NFL before he got killed too. So, but when he was going to UM. So yeah, like Miami, it's like they breed football players.
I think it's like 48%, 49%.
Really?
Or Florida.
From Florida.
Or just Florida, period. Yeah.
I mean, and you hear that from you hear that from like West Coast too, like Florida. And Florida boy, that's what you hear for real when you play football. And Florida boys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they coming.
Speed.
Yeah,
you can eat junk food all day and still
be.
Wow.
They fast, man. They really is.
Most def. You know, as before the show even started, I was listening to a few of your joints, man. Can't you see? Honestly, I love that joint as well as your latest joint.
Yeah, that was probably maybe. Can't you see? It's probably going on maybe 6-7 months ago when I dropped that. You know, so it's still a baby to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, well, it's still growing. You know, but because when I do certain streams or I'm performing in certain places, people like, yo, that one right there, that one. But I say once I drop Nightstick. They was like, man, you just switched it up. I'm like, listen, I'm planting seeds in every genre.
Yeah, you got to.
You get me? I don't limit myself. People from Miami, they know me for R&B music because I feel like I perform in every venue in my city. You get me? So people from Broward to Dade, you know, all the way even West Palm. So I done did my dollar. Then I was like, man, I got to step outside the box with it. And then it was a gentleman I used to work with. He was like kind of somewhat managing me at the time, but he just passed away recently. And he was telling me about freestyle music. You know, I was talking to you about that, and it's more of a disco kind of dance type of genre. And I was like, man, I said, oh, my mom used to listen to this. He was like, yeah, but put your R&B vocals on it. I was like, nah, this not my style. And he was like, just try. I did one song, and I seen the reaction of the people in the community of freestyle.
Word.
It's called freestyle music. So I seen the people in that community just like ate that song up. And I was like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
I might be on to something.
Yeah, this might be it.
Yeah, so in a week, I dropped the whole album in a week because it was so easy to write to. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make them feel me.
Right.
And almost every song that I did was hitting #1 on the charts. Every single song. And that's when I just started losing it. So, but I was humble with it, of course. And we started traveling. I went to New England. I was out there for a few months doing so many shows.
Word.
So yeah, like the people of that community really just, they embraced me. They embraced me a lot.
So how would you describe your music, man? Like your style, far as just, you know.
I'm definitely soulful because it don't matter what song, if it's pop or if it's EDM or something. When they hear me, like I put a lot of soul because a lot of music now, not down to any artist, they got amazing songs out here, but I feel like they ain't really putting emotion. And a lot of stuff they put out, they more focus on polishing it. Of course, you're gonna market whatever, but I'm like, man, you gotta make these people feel again. You know when Cisco, when he was doing his thing, like
it was soulful. Like,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that is what's missing from music.
Yeah,
today.
emotion, like actual
Yeah.
feeling, so people could hear it in your voice when you sing. You get what I'm saying? So
like I would say, like today, I think in R&B, I think two decent male, and I'm not gonna include Chris Brown heavy in that. Probably like Giveon, Lucky Day.
Giveon, he's nice. He's nice.
Lucky Day. You know what I'm saying? Them two.
Pink Sweat.
Yeah,
dope.
them boys.
I put Bruno Mars up there too.
Bruno, I feel him.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel Bruno.
He's bringing that back.
Yeah.
He bringing that soul back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what do you like? Do you think that it soured a little bit, and do you think that them boys are kind of bringing it back, or?
I mean, listening to those boys,
I'm bringing it back.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'm bringing it back. But them boys, they in a position where they have a bigger voice at this moment. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like they're doing a good job. They're doing a real good job because I pay attention to Pink Sweat. Me and him go back and forth from time to time when we on Instagram. And Giveon, I try reaching out to him a couple times, but I see what he does too, and I'm like, man, you got a vibe. I like your vibe. Even Daniel Caesar.
Yeah, Daniel Caesar for sure. Yeah.
That man's a monster too. Yeah. Man. That man's a monster. I would definitely like to do a record with him.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like the key thing to just connecting with the people is to write truth. Right, what you're going through and everything like that. You feel
and a lot
me?
of my records is either stuff I've went through or stuff that my circle of boys or one of my friends, my homegirls, they go through, or it's just stuff that I actually witnessed. I'm like, wow, man, this is something that I know a lot of people could be able to relate to.
Right.
So let me go ahead and put it in perspective, probably just reword it and try to give it a vibe. And like every song I got a whole album that's completed that people tell me, Jay, why you didn't drop it yet? I'm like, I just want to go single after single after single. I don't want to drop an album because I pay attention to the industry and how it is, and the attention span is very short.
Very short.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even do no 14 songs. I'll probably give you 3. If I do a project, it's gonna be 3 songs on it, or I'm gonna just give you singles.
Yeah,
you know
which is a really, really good marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that like the life cycles of songs nowadays are very short.
They're very short.
Because everyone does want to get something that is like right here, right now. Something hot that can go viral. Which is important, that you can do that, but it is also the longevity, or being able to feel and touch and tap into your audience so that they could stay with you for the long run.
Yeah, and then it's just a tactic as well, like as an artist, because now we notice that, I don't like to make my song that short, maybe 3:30, 3 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe max. But one thing that I noticed, because I saw Chris Brown do it, is like the shorter the song, and if it's hot, they're going to keep replaying that.
Yeah, over and over. Yeah.
So now that's a stream on top of another stream on top of another stream on top of another stream. You get
Kell
what I'm saying?
said a couple weeks back said he was mad at people making short
songs.
songs.
I'm not gonna lie.
He said he was not
I
feeling
was listening
that.
to Nelly the other day. Nelly had a song. It was like 4 minutes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I just wish, because it's like you get more content from the artist if you really like the artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel you.
But I get the business. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to get this money in. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a repeater. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna
See,
play
I'm
it on
not.
a loop.
I hate
It's not gonna be
repeating.
7 minutes,
You know what I'm
2
saying?
minutes,
Yeah.
playing on a loop.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Like,
Play
it
that
is-
joint about 6-7
real.
times.
Oh no,
straight.
past that. You should see my iTunes count.
Yeah, so she helping with those streams.
Right.
Make sure my song is on your
Yeah.
all
playlist.
day. Like send it to
Exactly.
Keisha ASAP. Send her.
Yeah, for
Most
real.
def, most
I got
def.
you.
That's facts.
Hey man, to all the listeners and supporters out there, we have the legend himself. I'm calling him a legend, man. The way he
Claim
moving
it.
right now,
Yeah.
the way
Appreciate
he's
that,
moving, he's
appreciate
doing
it.
some
Say the
things.
living dictionary himself. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
The Mr.
I'm gonna
Do
set
It
my
All.
tone because I'm gonna make sure, like, before I leave this place they call, Earth or whatever, it's like I'm make sure my daughter is like, she proud. You know what I'm saying? That
Facts.
she
Oh,
could
yeah.
walk these streets and be like, that's your dad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's telling me to
Proud.
be a singer. I'm like, if you singing, I'm gonna manage you because I know how this thing has hit. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'll manage you, but I said, we'll talk about it. But I'll make sure I'm gonna leave my mark, man. I've been hustling, I've been putting in work, and people notice it. A lot of people notice it. Like certain cities, like I can be like, I just recently moved to Atlanta not too long ago. So, but I go to freaking Philly. It's a madhouse. Detroit, it's a zoo. New York, a zoo. Where else? Connecticut. Man, it's crazy.
They're really good markets.
It
Those are
is.
big markets,
It really
yeah.
is. Like when me growing up, I see Michael Jackson, people passing out.
Oh,
they
yeah,
they
crying.
crying for him.
I know.
I
if
I ain't gonna lie,
I
low
went
key,
to-
I cried when he died.
I
Low
know.
key.
Me too.
I was in the
I
8th
think
grade
we
around
all
that
did.
time.
Listen, me and my
That's
mom and my
crazy.
brother we was in the living room crying like
Crying,
babies.
right.
Like I don't care.
For
Like we
real.
were crying. Like but just to see that, when I noticed that I went to certain festivals and I went to certain events and I seen they cried when they saw me, that blew my
Yeah,
mind.
that part.
I was like, man, who hired you to do that? That's what I said. Because I'm being from Miami. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, someone hired you. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
They say, you're Jay Mazor, you're Jay. I'm like, what? And she just started bawling. I'm like, for real?
That lets you know right there that you right where you're supposed
Listen.
to be doing what
Facts.
you're supposed to do.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
that's so good. Nobody paid her.
No
I
one
hope you
paid. That
know
was
that now.
genuine. Because
That
the
was
second one
genuine,
came
yeah.
and cried with her.
Yeah.
So that really started messing me up. I was like, and it's just guys. I see how
I'm
everything
humble.
goes. I put my hand. I'm like, I ain't touch her. I ain't do shit. I said, whoa.
That wasn't me. That was
Most
me.
def.
Nah, it wasn't me. And then, but she was like,
Hey.
no, it's your music. You don't know, Jay. You really helped me out with this, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, that's one of my goals, even being an artist. You get what I'm saying? That's so rewarding to be able to hear, and it was from a genuine place. You get what I'm saying?
Most def.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yo, I go by the name of DJ 9D.
It's your girl Keisha.
And it's your boy Kell.
And we chilling with the king himself, Jay Mazur, up in the building. Yo, I got something for y'all. Jay, you gonna enjoy this joint right here.
Let's
You
get
know
it.
what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
Hey, we'll be right. What? Black. Yo, you can't tell me. You cannot.
Them falsettos
tell me.
crazy. Them falsettos crazy.
That's my favorite Brian McKnight
Yeah.
song. I will listen to that
Word.
song
Oh,
on repeat.
You see 6, 8, 12? That's another one too. It's been 6 months, 8 days, 12 hours since
Oh, yeah,
you've
that's
been
the one.
away.
Okay. And the elbows are
That's
great.
another
Yep.
one.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's another classic, man.
Yo, do you remember a time growing up, like your first song that you listened to that you fell in love with pertaining to what we just played? Like, don't music just take you back to a time
It
when
does.
everything was just easy
It
and
does. Man.
made sense?
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
I remember the first song I ever wrote, like from an artist, like I actually put on paper, like I want to learn these lyrics. I probably was like maybe 11, maybe 12 or something.
Mm.
It was As Yet Last Night.
Mm.
That song, like I wrote that from just to study the lyrics, trying to sing it. But yeah, I think that was the first song I ever wrote and that was before I even knew I wanted to sing, though. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the first songs I wrote.
How did you fall in love with the process of making music? Like, when did that happen? Because I feel like those are two different things.
Well, I knew growing up that I wanted to sing, but I was shy. I was
Really?
this shy guy.
Oh,
100% shy guy. But if I could find my old journals when I was back in elementary to even all the way to now, like I know this is what you want to be when you grow up. I want to be a singer. I want to be a singer. I ain't know how we're gonna go about it, but it started off with fellas in the hood, and they just say, hey, Visionary Records, this is what we're gonna do. You know, all the rappers right there, and we got 2 singers. Cause I used to sing with my older brother, cause we were trying to do that group thing. But my brother, you know, life got the best of him. He said he got kids. He don't want to do that music stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to sing by myself. Like, I'm scared, you know, get on stage. But after doing a lot of showcases, doing open mics, and I seen how people, like, how they received me and stuff, and they were like, man, your voice. I'm like, oh, wait, I probably could do this by myself. Started perfecting my craft, and just the harmonies, though. It's just the creation, the creative part of everything, the writing. I don't care if it take all day. It's just, but the end result is just like, wow, you know. And then once you put it out to the masses and you get the response you get, it don't matter if it's just 10 people, especially when you just building. It's just like that. Like how would I say it? Like, it reassures you, like, yo, keep going. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the creation process. I love it when it comes to that. And it's just like I always have some kind of melody in my head. You play something, I'm gonna hum it, or I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna come up with something. Like when I do like live stream, and I have like my fans in the comments, and I say, yo guys, keep the comments rolling. Whatever y'all type, I don't care if y'all putting a joke. I'm gonna swag it out and make it sound like a record. And I go ahead and play a nice slow R&B, and they end up just vibing. They're like, Jay, you make it sound, you so emotional with it. I feel what you're saying, even though they just said some weird stuff. But I swagged it out like as if it was some deep R&B stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
So
I
like
love
you
the
like doing like legit freestyles? Is that what you're saying? Like
I
you
don't
taking something out like out the
I'm reading it as they come. I'll just read it as they come, and I'll just start singing it out. And they was like, whoa. You get what I'm saying? So
Would you say some of your best songs or ideas came from just people throwing them out to you like that?
Oh, when it comes to like actual songs like that's out, I write them. I either write the song or I have my boy. Shouts out to Tippy. He lives out here in Atlanta. We met in Miami.
Okay.
You know, and but he's out here in Atlanta with me too. Shouts out to Tippy. Only one Tippy, and he always say, Jay, I want to write for you. I want to write for you. He been saying that from Miami before I moved out here. I was like, okay. I said, but you rap. He said, nah, but I got this. Like, I can write for singers, man. Just give me a chance. Like, I can write for singers. I said, you know what, man, I'm with it. You know, I wasn't accustomed to that because I know, like, you know, industry-wise, they're like, they frown upon if you ain't writing your own stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he started writing me some stuff. I'm like, oh, man, we a duo with it. I said, I don't care what they think. I said, man, you got an idea? Or if I got a writer's block, yo, Tip. Hey, what you think about this? He's like, Jay, I like what you did with this, but you could do bop, 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 and I'll go ahead and bring it to life. Like, because his rough draft, like what that he'll send to me, people will hear it and say, how did you hear that from what you're singing? Because when they hear it, they're like, man, that's what you heard? I'm like, I know what he's trying to do. It's just my ear just adjusts, and I know how to go ahead and deliver it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can put the color to the black and white.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the dynamic between writers and especially with R&B, I think it's better. I think it's easier than rappers. You know what I mean? I think because a lot of the writers that came from R&B actually became big themselves, like Dream and Neo. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a writer and you're a rapper, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not as big as a real songwriter who's doing R&B. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you would be fine. You know what I'm saying? In the long run, for sure.
And then there's longevity when it comes to as far as being a singer. You know, as a rapper, it's not. There's no. I feel like there's no cap no more, like an age cap. But as a singer. There ain't no age cap.
No.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So
Charlie Wilson's still going crazy.
Listen, even Frankie Beverly, like I met him because you know he got a club out here. I forgot the name of the club, but I went out there. I met because I met the greats out there. Soleil, Professor Griff, Kango Kid who recently passed away.
Professor Griff.
You know, and I got the picture on my phone. I took a big Pastor Troy. We did a big group picture. I'm like, damn, I can't believe it. Nah, T-Pain wasn't out there.
Okay.
He wasn't out there, but it was a vibe out there. And Frank Beverly, he said, man, I'm not gonna stop singing until I'm gone.
Yeah.
He said it straight up. You know what I'm saying? Fans still go crazy for him, like, because if it was in his younger days. You know what I'm saying?
I know y'all see Mr. Big out there with the beard. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's like the godfather of this soul and
with the verses and everything. Those are old men who were really making numbers. You know what I'm saying? Doing the verses and all that. You know what I'm saying? I think they got like top 5 verses.
Facts.
Easily. So
and I like the fact that the older generation is connecting with the younger generation, far as because what Mr. Biz, he collaborated with Snoop Dogg. Who would have thought?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They dropped a good joint like that.
And despite, you know, this gentleman's situation, but R. Kelly, man,
Yeah.
Look,
I take my hat off to him.
I'm never not listening to R. Kelly, bro.
I agree
For
with
real,
you.
for real.
I agree with
For
you.
real, for real.
I'm like, we
Sorry.
can't take that away from as far as
Come
the
on.
You
talent.
gotta
what he
divide
done.
the two, and I keep telling people.
I
that.
tell
You
people the
gotta
same
divide.
thing.
like, bro.
I understand what he got going on, but you can't take away with the music he's done. He is talented, man.
Most
You know what I'm
def,
saying?
most def. So yo, what's with this joint, man? Dark Horse, man. When I
Dark
heard
Horse.
this joint, man, you covered it by Katy
Katy
Perry.
Perry.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my my first covers because I got my marketing team that I have back home, and we still in communication even though I live out here.
Okay.
And it was like, Jay, man, we gotta try to see how we can crack the YouTube, and try to build the fan base like that. We're gonna give them covers, and then we'll drop originals. And I was like, covers? I said, man, I don't want to do no covers. I ain't trying to remember other people's stuff. But he was like, nah, man, just think of the bigger picture. But I never say no. Like, I like, you know what?
Right.
Let's run with it. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, at least we tried.
Yeah, that's a great
You know what I'm
mindset,
saying?
by the way.
So that's when he was like, okay, take these. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just swag it out slow, even though these are fast-paced records, but I'm going to R&B it out because that's what I know. And Dark Horse, I was not expecting. I think I got 250,000 views on that cover. And I wasn't expecting all that. You get what I'm saying? And that's when my fan base started growing on my YouTube channel. So even now, like, I started doing little YouTube shorts here and there, and people like, oh, we miss you. It's been a while since you dropped any covers. But Dark Horse, the Katy Perry, no one was expecting that. Like,
Yeah, man. I
Yeah.
felt that joint.
And that's you in the video, right?
yeah.
Yo, we was
my
we was
weight
looking at
loss
it.
journey, man.
Yo, I'm gonna need the recipe, dog.
This,
Yo,
it's definitely discipline. Self-discipline is one of the
Yeah.
top recipes,
Yeah.
but drink a lot of water.
a lot of water. okay.
Definitely really exercising, man. Really
Yeah.
exercising, like even if it's minimum
Consistent.
30 minutes, and stay consistent with
Yeah.
it.
The
Big
You know what
on
I'm
that.
saying?
consistency, self-discipline, and water.
And
Is that
drinking a
that's-
lot of
that's
water.
what I heard.
And don't and don't
Everything
go
in
too
life.
crazy. Like actually portion out your food.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't like being a Haitian. My mom's giving us mountains.
What?
And we gotta clean our plate.
Rice and bean.
Yeah, rice, bean, chicken. You got plantain on the side and
All
the side
that.
salad just to top it all.
All that.
So and if you don't eat it, she's getting mad.
Yeah. You
know what I'm
stand
saying?
at the table.
You gonna sit there. You're not getting up. You're not getting up at all. So,
Word.
but as I became older, and I'm like, nah, ma, I can't eat like this. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just had to apply myself. And plus, when I became a dad, that really just like opened my man. I got to be able to chase after this little girl and do everything with her. I'm not trying to be
Facts.
winded.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So man, that's what it pushed me as well. And plus, just being on stage, it pushed me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Taking care of yourself physically and mentally.
And mentally.
is so important. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that I am like doing this year. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, like I got to get it together, physically and mentally. Just like there's so much, going on in the world. So
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
you gotta stay. Oh, and spiritually too. Like you gotta
Absolutely.
stay like.
I'm
on your
definitely in tune with
toes.
that.
You have to stay
Spiritually,
on
I'm in
your toes.
tune. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of covers, like, I feel like you're touching so many different genres of music.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you manage to, jump back and forth and
Yeah.
have such a loyal fan base?
Yeah.
Because that's not
Yeah,
not easy.
that's not easy at all.
That's not
Because
easy.
everyone was used to the R&B music.
Yeah.
So once they seen I did freestyle, they was like, "What?" But when they started seeing the people from freestyle how they received me, they was like, "Okay, let's really pay attention to what he just did because these people going crazy over here for him." So now it's like with the freestyle mixing in with them, it's like it became even a bigger fan base. So now even the Afrobeat, everyone's like Afrobeat. I'm like, that was my first song, like first Afrobeat song, and it was my boy. He kept telling me, "Yo, try Afrobeat." And Leor Cohen, who used to own Run 300 ENT,
Yeah.
I heard him say that years back, and it was a seed. It was stuck in my head. I'm like, man, nah, maybe he. But I'm like, man, hold on. You get what I'm saying? And when my boy kept pushing me to do it, so I saw the Henry. He kept pushing me to do it. And I'm like, okay, let's knock it out. Let's see what the vibe is, And I just see everyone's like, oh, I love Nice Day. They just like the fact is my vocals and how I sing on everything. Like I'm very
Right.
like heartfelt when I do it, no matter what it is.
So it's that.
It's
that's,
that.
That's your secret sauce.
Yeah,
Is that it's heartfelt.
it's heartfelt. Every song I
that's-
do.
Yeah, that's what's missing. And that's what allows you to be able to tap into different genres, and people, you can grab people from this genre, grab people from this, and then now they all come together, and now they all like looking for like, what you doing next?
It don't matter what it is.
Longevity will come.
And it don't matter what it is, because even the people from freestyle, which is more disco dance, like now when they go and really search me, they're like, Jay, I like up in there, I like Can't You See, I like Sexton, I like this one. So now they're like, we didn't know about these songs. I'm like, yeah, I started off with R&B, so now they start going down the catalog. So now they left all the records, to the point like a lot of DJs in the freestyle world, they're like, Jay, I need Main Girl, which I got that song with it's featuring Zoe Dollars, free bands artist. So they got Main Girl, got everything. So we need to put that in rotation too. Don't just give us the freestyle music. I said, I just thought y'all probably wouldn't be vibing to it, but it was like, man, it's your voice, bro. I'm like, oh, say less, and I just started sending them all to everyone.
Now you mentioned earlier that you travel and do your thing, or whatever case may be, and on top of that you have a beautiful young princess at home.
Baby
so
Madison.
how do you manage being a wonderful father, but as well as tending your business, traveling, doing everything like that? How do you keep up with it too? Because it could be very difficult.
Well, I definitely gotta give a big shout out to my family, my sister, my brother Ripper the Kid. They hold me down, because when they, we're very family oriented. So when they know, okay, yo, Jay got something to do, he got to go out of town, he got to do it, hey, we got to hold Madison down.
Word.
And not even that, like I just recently, like Madison's like I'm a full-time father now, and because she just moved up here with me now, and
congrats.
it took a lot for her mom to even say, Jay, I'm handling stuff, with my life. I need you to go ahead and take her until she's 18 and she feel like she want to move. I'm like, oh, like for good? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I was dreaming about this. I prayed for this, because moving up here, I probably cried a lot of nights just thinking about my daughter, because that's, you get what I'm saying. So,
I feel that.
So when I seen her, I always used to pray before I go to bed, and then I just seen how she just say, Jay, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm like, are you okay with it? And it was hard for her. You get what I'm saying? But I respect that as a mom, like, because I knew it wasn't an easy decision.
Right.
But she already know, Jay, seeing your position and seeing what you got going on, I feel like it's only right. Like Madison be way more comfortable. And like you look at her bedroom, everything, ponies everywhere, like everything that she asked for, I made sure I give it to her. I told her, man, I said, when I move out here, just give me a little time. I'm gonna get you a castle. And I got a big old house up, in a certain city. I ain't gonna say exactly where I'm at. I got of course not. So I got a big old house over there just vibing. Yeah. So I got a big house over there just vibing. She got all the space she need, and she loves everything about it. Like, I always tell her, Mama, you wish you would have went back home. She's like, no, Dad, I'm here. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'll let you know. And she's like, you're my king. And I'm like, yeah.
And children, they just want to be in a space where they're loved.
Absolutely.
And they're valued and appreciated as a child. You know what I mean? Because they have the feelings too.
Of course. So
I
tell people all the time, respect kids. Do not.
Yes.
Because I know certain stuff we see on the news, how they mistreat them. Like, respect kids.
Yeah. Because they the future. They the future.
Thank you, bro.
They're gonna be here, when we long gone.
Exactly. It don't matter if they 3 or 4 years old. Respect they face. Respect they mental. Of course, you're gonna be able to tell between when they just doing kid stuff. But it's certain stuff you pay attention to it. Like, take heed to a little bit of stuff, dissect it. Don't just sit them and shoo them off and like, hey, go sit your butt over there.
You can learn something.
You can actually learn something.
Yeah. That's one thing too. I'm like, I want us to stop teaching our young black kids to be quiet, they're only supposed to be seen, not heard. Like, they have a voice. You know what I mean? That you have a voice and you have, a value that you can give to this world.
Absolutely.
And so I want children to understand, like, especially young black kids, like, do not shrink. Do not make them feel like they can't say anything because, they're a child. You know what I mean? Because then this child who feels like they can't say anything grows up to be an adult.
Yeah.
Who feel like
they can't say anything.
And they don't know how to shake it.
We got a program early. It's like, even now, like my daughter, she's 8. And like, she goes to school, trying to talk to kids about crypto, and I'm like, Mama, they don't understand.
They don't understand that.
Because when she get from school, boom, I put her in front of her iPad. I'm saying, Mama, you're gonna look at these videos right here, and then I want you to break it down and tell me what that is.
Right.
I say, okay, now what's credit cards? What's this? What's what's investments? What's bonds? What's this? And she breaking it down, and she'll always tell her teacher, she said, well, I don't know about crypto. Well, it's pretty much a blockchain, and you got to do this. And she's like, and the teacher actually asked me, do you teach Madison about crypto? I'm like, yeah. I say this is gonna be their currency. They're not gonna be using dollar bills anymore.
At all.
I say y'all gotta open your minds now. Don't be closed minded.
So antiquated, the school systems.
Yeah.
So let's get into Can't You See as well as Nightstick. You know?
Can't you see? Yeah.
Man, I love that joint. Can't You See,
Yeah.
man. I know your latest joint is Nightstick, but damn it,
Listen.
I love that. Can't You See? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, the Queens love that one. They be vibing. They be vibing to it.
What's
Like
that?
that's one of my that's one of my fans. She legitimate. She like, Jay, your song got me pregnant. Like I have baby Kenzie because of you.
Word.
Like this, no, I'm
Is
not
this
even
the
lying.
lying.
next R. Kelly?
Listen,
Is this the
Wait.
next
and
R.
I'm like,
Kelly?
I said, you lying. So, but every time I jump on stream or I'm talking to
Word.
people, she was like, yo, this guy got my daughter is because of him. I was playing this
Word.
song. I
Word.
was playing that. And even her baby daddy, low key, like, man, who's this Jay Mazur guy you always talking about? She's like, man, like, he my homie. I rock with him. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, to all the listeners and
Yeah.
supporters out there, man, we ain't gonna keep y'all waiting. I'm gonna play this
Yeah.
joint, Can't You See, as well as Nightstick,
Yeah.
featuring Seasons, right?
Nice little sessions.
Sessions.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but
It's
yeah,
the accent.
yes, you know what I'm
It's the
saying?
Georgia, Florida accent.
Yeah, sessions. That's like the sessions, man.
Well, I go by the name of DJ 9D,
It's your girl Keisha.
It's your boy Kell.
and we have the king himself, Jay Mazur, up in the building. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Hey, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way
it's
to
a vibe.
do it.
Shouts out to Black Hippie Clothing again. Shouts out the whole Team Mazur family I see in here. They out here representing right now on these streams right now.
Yeah, what y'all see, what the radio did not catch, what live stream caught, what the radio didn't catch, is you singing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you sound
Just like
exactly like the record.
no auto tune, no
auto-tune.
crazy auto tune.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I can sing,
Exactly.
sing. You see, that's another thing I gotta say when it comes to freestyle. When I tapped into that genre, one thing I know a lot of people say, you actually know how to sing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like,
facts.
damn. I say, but they doing their thing. They're like, nah, but you can sing, like you sang.
Right.
It sound like just like the song.
Yeah.
So, whatever it is that, people usually put something over their voice. And so, I don't know. Did you not do that?
Nah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
all live.
Okay.
Live.
That's good. So nobody will be surprised.
Nah, they shouldn't.
That's so
and
good.
usually when I have a show, I always start off with a cappella before I actually play the polished song.
Oh, yeah, that's
Smart.
great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Very,
like, hey,
very
before
smart.
y'all hear the polished version, let me let y'all know what I can really do, so y'all know this is not just I'm trying to just hide my voice behind the
Yeah.
song. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah,
And Nightstick is a dance song.
Yeah, that's a dance,
I love
yeah.
the dance.
Yeah.
Okay, and I love the
You gotta
girl
go
music
to one
too.
of them Caribbean joints, man.
Listen,
them,
right now-
parties down there in Florida, they be
Yeah.
having them all the time, Keisha.
Oh, I need
Yeah.
to go.
For real.
First of all, I love Miami. So let me
Yeah.
just start with that. I love Miami. I'm going for my birthday. And so that's why I won't be here for one show. I'm going to go be irresponsible in Miami. No, but I love Miami, and I love to me, the vibe of the city is just so tropical.
it's a
and
melting
just-
pot out there.
It's a melting pot.
You gonna-
I experienced it
Yeah.
as a guest.
As a tourist, it's like
As a
going out there,
tourist, so
visitor.
it's very different. It's on South Beach.
Yeah.
So it's that you speak of, I do not know. But I love Miami, and I
Yeah.
love that Caribbean influence, and
Yeah.
that that I love that.
Haitian,
I love
You got 'em
it.
all.
Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Dominican,
Bahamian.
Bahamian.
Shout out.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Panama,
Yeah.
I'm talking about. There's a whole melting pot out there in Miami. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get the Caribbean vibe wherever you go.
Most
And
definitely.
there's a lot of
Absolutely.
Caribbean clubs out there. That's why I was trying to find out here since I moved out here.
Yeah.
They say there is out
Yeah,
here.
it is.
Yeah,
But
it
I gotta
is.
kind of do some more scouting because
Yeah.
I know once I put this in his hand, that's a
Yeah.
given.
It's over with.
Yeah.
It's over with.
And by irresponsible, I mean by going on a cruise. Okay, that's what that was.
Yeah, I figured that. You know, yeah, I didn't think anything crazy. So,
Hey, I wanted to get into that video game, man, because you're a gearhead.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah.
gearhead. So tell us more about that video game you got coming.
Yeah, so this video game is called Night Whisper Lane Rebirth. So this was a game that was already out, and so I saw the EPX game. They're based in Toronto, Canada.
Okay.
So EPX game reached out to me because they see everything I was doing musically. And they were like, Jay, we got an idea. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what was about? They say we got this game. We already started formulating stuff, but we don't got no character, no nothing. They said, would you like to be the character?
Word.
And we'll put the storyline around you. I say, you for real? I say, being where I'm from, I don't think anyone in my city be in a video game.
Nobody
You
in
know what I'm
Miami
saying?
has a video game?
Not that
In a
I know
video game? Okay.
Except
You
for
know-
Madden. Maybe in Madden. You know?
Yeah.
You know, or something, but
You
feel me?
Yeah.
so when he came at me with it, we did the paperwork, and he was like, "Man, you'll get this, and this." And I'm taking a whole bunch of pictures, green screen, and they started creating a whole 3D. They showed me the skin.
That's hard.
I showed it to my fan base as well, and they're like, wow, when it's coming out. I'm like, they still getting everything situated with Microsoft to be able to get that budget set up. So I'm like, they gonna be like, hey, you got a crazed fan. She kidnapped you, put you in this crazy
this is
fortress.
fun.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
hard.
I like this.
Yeah, it put you in a crazy fortress. Now you got to try to find your way out because she held your friends and your family captive. So you want to
man.
try to get out.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
You know,
great.
you got to do this. Spike pits. So my daughter's like, Dad, I want to be in a video game. I'm like,
Of
Mama,
course.
I said, look, I said, I don't know because they got to take your picture and all that because they got. I'm talking about the tattoo, the details. They got everything.
Whole
I
nine.
see.
The whole nine. So.
Okay.
That's when she said they just created a new stage like a dungeon and stuff, and she was like, Dad, it'll be good if they had skull heads and this and this. I say I can text it that to them.
Right.
I texted. Listen, in less than a day they created that whole. Hey, tell your daughter thank you, and that was a good idea. I said, Mom, look, you played a part in it. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
They took your idea and
Thank you.
they brought it to life. Look at the
Exactly.
dungeon. Look at the skull heads like you were saying. Look at everything dropping. So
In all facts,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that your daughter said that idea,
yeah,
some way somehow, as she get older, she's benefiting off of
Absolutely.
that because it's her idea. So that was a
Absolutely.
smart move on her end.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that. I shot it right over to him ASAP. The moment she said it, he
Word.
was like, "Oh, that's not a bad idea." And they went to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also too, speaking of like how she came up with the idea,
Mm-hmm.
getting used to being confident with believing in your ideas is so important. I think it's an underrated thing.
Yes,
People
yes.
don't think about it. It's like coming up with ideas. That's literally
Yeah, and I didn't belittle
everything.
her. I ain't saying, sit down, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right,
When she-
right.
I'm like, hold
Exactly.
on. Let me go in the group chat we got with EPX Games. And it was like, Jay, great idea. I'm like, boom, Mama, look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
She
saying?
learned how to be a thinker. That's
absolutely.
good.
Absolutely.
That's
Steph,
good.
most Steph. So what's next, man? What's next for Jay Mazur, man?
Man, right now, what I got coming up next is like, we supposed to be getting a tour set up in mid-May. We supposed to be kicking off in Chicago.
Okay.
I know Indiana, Wisconsin. We're supposed to get New York on the list. Definitely my hometown, Miami, Orlando, and but really I want to work on more Afrobeat. I want to give them a good amount of songs
Yeah.
before I get back into the other little, R&B stuff. I want to at least flood them a good, maybe give them a solid 7 singles,
Facts.
and then go ahead and let it circulate. And I know it's gonna go crazy because right now I officially just got picked up on. This is the first song. It's officially on syndicated radio, and it's Nightstick. With all the songs I done dropped from Can't You See and a whole bunch of other records, Tell Me You Love Me, Born to Love. This is official my first record that's on syndicated radio, and it's Nightstick. So, and I found they just did it this week. So me, that was a big accomplishment, especially being an independent. Not signed with no major, no nothing. So that was big for me, man. My whole family, the circle, everybody was excited. I'm like, hey, we just gotta take it to the moon now, because now we just trying to aim for Billboard now. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to give you credit for the Nightstick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Allegory, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
everybody who's trying to use Nightstick after this show, you know what I'm saying?
You are right.
Give your credit.
Because I know you ain't hear that term in a while.
I,
You know what I'm saying?
I heard, I was like, yo, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me put that on the phone right quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
for
shout
sure,
out.
for sure, man. I
That's
appreciate
it.
it, man.
Where can people find you?
They can literally Google me and from Instagram
Spell,
to
how you spell it? J-A?
JAEMAZOR.
So
Again,
just
that's
like how it sounds.
yeah. Jay Mazor is JAE, no Y. It's JAEMAZOR, and it's not Mazor. I know we get that a lot, but I'm a Haitian, so it's Mazur. It has a nice little, a little swag to it. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple, Tidal Music, Pandora, you name it. I'm literally on even Pinterest. I'm on everything.
Okay.
You know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
Pinterest.
Yeah.
I'm looking for birthday outfits.
Yeah. She getting ready for her birthday.
I am ready.
Yeah.
Hey.
But no, that's so good. That's so
Yeah.
good. I definitely. So Atlanta is receiving you well.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember we talked about you just had a performance.
Yeah.
and-
At Bonfire.
yeah, and they were loving you.
You would think that they heard the song before.
Yeah.
Because not even that. Because
Yeah.
when I got there, I was like, because it was Bonfire. I was like, let me test the waters.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So I went
Right.
to Bonfire and I just went up there and just like I was still in the process of signing up. And I'm like, hold on, let me just sign up real quick. And then it was like, Jay Mazur coming to the stage. I'm looking like, I'm still telling him what song to cue up.
Right.
And he said, man, Jay, just go. I'm like, I done been there, done that. I remember when I first started.
Facts.
It's not everything gonna go on point. So I just went, got my bag, ran up on stage. I'm like, well, what's good, people? Everybody like, yo, but one thing I like about out here, they love music.
Yeah.
They love the whole creation, but
Mhm.
they appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, the crowd was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was over like 200 people, 300 people in there. So, you know, I did Nightstick, and that whole place was dancing, and I'm like, yo, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when I gave them a freestyle song, because I know they're not familiar with freestyle out here like that. So when I gave them the freestyle song, everyone's looking like, what is he performing? But why does it sound so dope? You know what I'm saying? So everyone started vibing with me, but it was like maybe 2 guys out of the crowd that came and said, yo, that was freestyle music? I'm like, yeah, they actually knew, and that caught me off guard, because I didn't know if they knew it out here. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, you took a chance with that, and you killed that. He said, Nightstick. He was like, yo, keep coming with the Afrobeat, because out here, he said, there's not a lot of artists who's doing Afrobeat here in Atlanta.
Word up.
So I was, or Georgia period. So I was like, oh, okay. He was like, and then the girls, they came up saying, oh, that Nightstick. I'm like, wow. I see everybody was dancing, whole crowd control. I'm telling the whole place to clap. The whole place clapping. They doing everything with me. Like, you know, and I'm like, wow, this is dope. That's the reason I even move out here for the career. You get what I'm saying?
The love in Atlanta is major. You know what I'm saying?
It's different.
So, yo, we once again thank y'all for tuning in, kicking the old school with us with Jay Mazur, as well as, you know, good music. You feel me? I go by the name of DJ 9D.
It's your girl Keisha.
And it's your boy Kell.
And you're now tuning in to Kicking the Old School every Thursday at 8. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, shout out to Nostalgia for the wonderful work that they do in order for the show to be what it is, man. Be blessed, be safe, and peace.
Peace.